It's the day we've all been preparing for, the closure of the viaduct.
So it's 10 o'clock. That means it's supposed to be shut down right now, but it's more like a tourist attraction in the heart of downtown Seattle. Crews started closing the ramps about 15 minutes ago. Amanda Grace and Greg Copeland are live in Pioneer Square as many are saying goodbye to a part of history. Good evening, you two.
Good evening, Mark, Lori. It is a party out here. I mean,
the biggest party around, probably.
There's a lot of hooting, hollering, honking of horns. And yes, there is a very long line of cars still waiting to get onto the viaduct tonight, even though we have passed that 10 o'clock mark and this highway is supposed to be closed. But this is closing at Spokane Street, so that's about a mile away from our location right now in Pioneer Square. So there are plenty of cars still waiting to get onto the viaduct, and as you can see, they are just creeping. They're trying to soak this in one final time before State Highway 99 will be closed for good, closed for 3 weeks before the new tunnel is expected to open up.
And of course now crews are going to be getting right to work, starting with some big changes tomorrow. Let's get to King 5's Natalie Swaby. She joins us live now with more on that.
Well, we are here at the Columbia Street on-ramp. WashDOT told us they were going to close it at 9:45, and right on time they did. Joining me now, I want to bring in David Sowers with WashDOT. And we were talking about it. There's a party right now on the viaduct. People wanting to get one last look. Talk a little bit about that. Are you surprised how many people are doing it, first of all? And second, does that interfere with the schedule for today?
It doesn't interfere with the schedule. I was glad we had some extra Washington State Patrol on hand to help us out. You can hear all the horns going, all the people screaming. Everybody's having a great time. But it is the last time to drive across the viaduct, and so everybody came out of the woodwork to enjoy it and see it for the last time.
And the plan is to start shutting down that main line at 10 o'clock, and from what you know, everything is moving the way it's supposed to?
Yeah, the crews showed up here just a few minutes ago. They closed. This is the southbound on-ramp at Columbia Street. They moved up to the north end. They're closing the main line from the north. There's another crew working at the south end. The main line should be closed here probably within about a half an hour to an hour. And then there's some additional ramps that they'll have to close at Seneca. But yeah, it's going to happen tonight in just the next few hours.
All right, thank you so much for giving us an update there. And we're going to move in a little bit closer here, and you can see those road closed signs. Know that 90,000 commuters typically rely on the viaduct daily, so the message tonight is to get ready for the increased traffic downtown and across the region.
Today was a chance to crowd on and take in the viaduct view one last time.
Looking over from the top deck and looking at the water and everything and looking at the big wheel.
Adrian Mendez says he's sad to see it go.
It lives its life and it did what it did for a good 65 years.
Now the focus shifts to what's next.
Everybody's obviously very concerned about the traffic.
Therese Bowen lives in Belltown and has grown accustomed to the gridlock. She's bracing for even bigger backups.
A lot more people will have to use surface streets.
Streets that run right in front of this salon.
We're at Senza Salon, downtown Seattle at 1st and Seneca.
Right next to where the viaduct is.
Hairstylist Kelly Corey relies on the bus to get here.
I was pretty bummed. I live in West Seattle, so I take the viaduct every day.
A few chairs down is Evie Ulich. She commutes from Redmond by car.
I drive a car because I get off really late at night.
Between the shampoos and haircuts, talk turns to what the viaduct shutdown will be like.
I have no idea. Like, I wish I knew, but I really don't. So it's really just daunting.
Commuters crossing downtown with no Highway 99 for 3 weeks. That's what worries her.
Yeah, it's just going to be nuts everywhere. Like, our clients could be late.
You may have people who will be a little late to work.
And here, they have their predictions.
It'll be a little learning curve, I'm sure, in the beginning.
And outside the salon's doors, some say they know what's coming.
For 3 weeks, it is going to be an absolute nightmare.
I think it's going to be really crazy.
What no one can deny is this viaduct view will soon be gone forever.
Now, when the viaduct temporarily shut down in 2016, there were longer commute times on I-5 and I-405. WashDOT tells us they expect to see that again. They also tell us they have a lot of work to do in the next 3 weeks. Weather could be their biggest adversary, but if all goes according to plan, tunnel should open February 4th. Amanda, Greg, back to you.
Natalie, thank you. If you do plan to take the bus to avoid traffic, check out this map.
Yeah, this is what you might need to write. The bus lines are going to change quite a bit. There are 12 lines that will be rerouted because of this closure, including many buses that come either from North or West Seattle, like the C line.
So when you do take the bus, you may want to ditch the cash and pay with an Orca card. You can buy one at orcacard.com or at a ticket vending machine. They work kind of like a debit card. You can reload money onto it at any time. Using it to pay will save you more time and money. You just have to tap it to get onto the bus.
Well, some of you might remember when the viaduct opened. Ken and Joan Jackson were among the first people to travel down that Highway 99 viaduct the day it opened, April 4th, 1953.
Here's the little Dodge that we drove across this viaduct.
I remember all the cars lining up, getting ready to go, and they lined Ken and his brother's cars up first.
Now, organizers of the opening day ceremonies wanted a parade of vintage vehicles, and Ken was part of an antique car club, so he was invited to join the procession. Joan walked. For the Jacksons, it's kind of surreal to have seen a landmark both rise and fall.
So one takeaway tonight, we're all in this together, and it's going to require some planning and some patience.
You've got the buses that I just mentioned, but there are a lot of different transit options. And of course, we have a lot of information available online to help you navigate the next 3 weeks of whatever traffic troubles there might be. So be sure to stay tuned.
Yeah, and we do have that complete guide on king5.com/tunnel effect. And on Facebook, we're taking all of your questions in a group discussion. You just have to search the word Seattle Tunnel Traffic on Facebook, and that's how you can join the group.
And of course, the big test is going to come after the weekend. Monday morning, the first commute without the viaduct, and things could be interesting. King 5 will be coming to you earlier than normal, 4 a.m., and that is to bring you the latest news and traffic conditions. We invite you to watch as we hopefully help you navigate the first big day.
So the honking continues tonight out here on the viaduct after 10 o'clock. We're just going to wait and see. We'll be out here all hour to see when this is going to clear out.
The line stretches clear. I mean, it's almost endless. We could be here a while.
Back to you guys.
I can't imagine that they're going to stay on schedule like this, but maybe they will.
I'm guessing it's going to take a state patrol sweep at some point to get everybody off the viaduct.
Thanks, Amanda. Thanks, Greg. Tonight, a lot of people, as you saw, are trying to get that one last ride in, the one last look at the viaduct. In fact, earlier, people were actually stopping on the viaduct to take pictures. This is not advised.
Yeah, actually getting out of their cars, and they are right now. Our producer, Daniela, said that people are actually stopping, as you can see, getting out of their cars. Look at that on the right-hand side there.
Yes.
They've actually pulled off onto the tiny shoulder there. And look at, you can also see the southbound traffic below is just bumper to bumper as people are just packing the viaduct.
Oh my gosh, people are so sentimental.
Yeah. Well, a lot of you are sharing memories in our Facebook group that we created just for this event. Debbie took this picture. Isn't this a great picture? Mm-hmm. She says this was the last sunrise for this morning's final commute, a beautiful way to say goodbye.
Linnea says, never thought I'd get emotional about 10,000 tons of concrete. I always thought to myself while sitting in the city traffic, if I had to commute, at least I had that view.
And finally, Judy took this picture of the sunset tonight, her last viaduct drive. So, Lori, what's your favorite memory? Last hour you talked about kind of a funny story that happened on the viaduct.
It was kind of humorous. I remember when that big truck dumped a huge load of frozen crab on the viaduct. It jammed up traffic for hours, and a friend of mine called and said, hey, that's my frozen crab. Where can I get it? But by the time I answered the phone and got through to the city, they had already taken away and put it in a dump.
Whoa.
Oh, poor crab.
I don't really have a positive viaduct story, but I've done a number of stories over the years about the vulnerability of that structure, and I'm really honestly thankful that we did not have a major earthquake over the lifespan of this structure, because countless engineers have said if the big one hit, that would have crumbled and would have caused a huge loss of life. So I think we really dodged a bullet here in Seattle. It's coming at some point. But seismically, this tunnel is way safer. Just look at California, San Francisco area. Mm-hmm. Tunnels fare way better than roads do because they don't do this. They're down below the ground. And
they move with the ground. Yeah. So many engineers having probably their first good night's sleep in decades.
Probably so.
Because this is finally going to be closed.